And Mazel Tov, Mom and Dad, on this joyous event, and because keep doing what you're doing. And happy 25th.
You want me to talk?
Yeah, it's your turn.
No. Skip and.
I'm not one for saying much, but I guess I speak for us all when I say we're very proud of you and we love you. Your turn.
Oh, cool. Mazel Tov, and in Yez Hashem we can have other simchas in the family to please the grandparents and all the friends and relatives.
Yay. Amen.
Yeah, 'cause
I get all misty when I hear my children speak so beautifully. This is a special day. It's practice for a lot of other simchas.
We thank everybody for the honor bestowed upon us, and we hope that we make them all proud.
Look at the camera when you talk.
Mazel tov to my children for the dinner. I hope to live to see Panina married already. Mazel tov.
The full occasion in preparation of many more simchas and happiness to come in our families.
Happiness is taking pictures with Grandma. Right there, hold it. One more time. This gentleman in the gray suit, you look like a cast man. It's a little smile. Right there. Right there. Hold it. Fantastic. One more time. Grandma, a little smile this time.
Which grandmother?
The good-looking one. Great grandma. Okay? Right there. Fantastic. Hold it. Perfect. Good.
Wait, don't move. Okay, go ahead. Make sure you...
Bring it to me, and then you come behind me. Yeah. Call us. We're like, I'm not ready. 1 second. Word over yourself. Give him a time. Excuse me, sir. Sure, man. 1 second. Are you behind us? Yeah, come behind. Come behind.
forgot to miss the most important name.
One more time. Get a little closer so we don't show Grandma. Hold it. One more time. Wait a second. Smile. Right there. Hold it right there. And everybody wave to video.
Okay,
right there.
take one. Stay there. Stay there. Lisa? Okay. Thank you. All right. Let me kiss you. Let me kiss you. Let me kiss you. Mazel tov. This is great. I love being at a simcha.
Beautiful. It's delicious. Everything is beautiful. Everybody's happy. Very nice.
Okay, so I still want to get
So,
This place smells great.
Mr. Blazer, you like a hot dog? No, I don't. Oh, they're included in the price.
I don't want one.
I can make you one.
I don't want one.
What's your last name? Blazer?
Blazer.
You don't want another one?
Walter. Yes. L'chaim. I don't have a drink.
I have a drink.
L'chaim. You need lots of light. That's the camera giving us the light. Where'd you find without salt?
Beautiful. It's nice. Vera.
Not to smile. Absolutely. Mazel tov.
Mazel tov, everybody. It's so great to be here.
The woman did that too. Mindy's back and Mindy's front. Kyle.
Every day we're together, and now we're together Sunday night. Yay! Watch out. I love it. I did. I really did. It's a preview. Next time. Thanks. Where'd you get hired? I've been with them. I love them.
No, this is for us, for you,
Joel, mazel tov.
Thank you, thank you.
Maybe another 25 years of the best. And he is the best.
But this is
Congratulations.
Hi, how are you? Beautiful. These guys do it.
I think he picked up a younger lady. I think the husband picked up a younger lady.
You too. A nice occasion. I think I gotta go. You got it?
I saw him play the old Madison Square Garden. Roger Bear, remember?
Roger Bear. Roger.
Yes, Roger Bear.
Number 7?
Yes, number 7. This is the best. This made the dinner, and he's welcome to sit at our table.
Come enjoy it.
The best.
Oh, wait, you gotta bring on Olsen.
All right, we're going to there too. Right now, everybody, come on.
Right there.
This is the best.
Good, right there.
Best.
Thank you very much.
Why you think it's bad? Yes,
Hi. How are you, Joe? Thank you. Thank you very much.
Look like your cousin.
Thank you.
Otherwise, I'm stuck with my coat. Oh, I have to go. Here he is.
Give me your cup.
No, wait. Where is he?
Those are potato pancakes, fried rice.
It's not a winner. It says bar mitzvah. Avi's bar mitzvah. That's one.
Rabbis, guests, family, I'd like to thank each and every one of you for being here tonight. As always, to make a successful dinner such as this, the program will not be long. I promise you that. So please just bear with us. To make a successful dinner such as this, there are always a lot of people who chip in. However, there are a number of people who went to the outer limits with their assistance. I would like to thank my co-chairman, Manny Libin and Irving Cherson, and Irving's doctor, who made him stay home for a week so that he could work on the dinner, Bruce Lilker, Paul Weinberg, our office staff, Barbara, Sheila, Danny Frankel, Barta Selinger for doing the children's page. All of the people who made their calls, and also the guest of honor, who worked as hard as we did to make this a success. After being chairman and co-chairman of this annual dinner for the past number of years, I felt that I had enough. However, my debt to the Blazers goes back over 20 years to my days at Yeshiva, when Joe literally pulled me off the edge of the cliff more times than I can remember. My first visit to Woodmere was to the Blazer residents, where their hospitality and their graciousness just flowed. It has continued to this day with their active participation in all areas of the community, and especially the shul. It's with great pride and appreciation that we honor Claire and Joel Blazer tonight. I'd like to introduce our president, Alan Leibowitz, to say a few words.
Thank you, Arnie. Well, welcome to our 32nd anniversary dinner. In Hebrew, 32 is Lamed Beis, or Lev. Nothing characterizes our guests of honor, Claire and Joel, better than the heart. Everything they have done for our shul over the many, many years has come from their heart. They have worked for our shul because they are very kind and very caring individuals. Because of their spiritual as well as physical proximity to our shul, they have been called upon numerous times to help in urgent situations. In the early years of our shul, Joel would be called upon to be the proverbial 10th man for the minyan. I can recall several years ago when Judy and I were making bar mitzvah in the shul. We had guests for a Shabbos meal on Friday night in the shul. We were lighting candles and we were too short. Who do you run to? Well, not Mr. Cooper, but Joel and Claire. Claire has lit up our shul with her bright smile and always cheery attitude, while Joel has literally turned on and fixed the lights to our shuls many times. I wish you, Claire and Joel, as well as your children, Penina, Avi, and Gila, much hatzlacha and nachas in the years to come, and may we all continue to be your neighbors for many years. Speaking of people who have dedicated themselves to our shul, few individuals work as hard for our shul as our dinner chairman, Arnie Waldman. Thank you, Arnie, for putting together another successful dinner. Arnie, you told me last year that you'll never do it again, and you've already told me this year that you'll never do it again. May you tell me again after next year's dinner that you'll never do it again. Much thanks also for this dinner to individuals who keep coming through for our shul, as Arnie mentioned. Irv Cherson, Manny Libin, Bruce Lilker, and Paul Weinberg. Thank you. This past year has been a truly momentous year in the history of our shul. We have voted in a resounding manner for a new shul building. One of the nice things about being president is that you get the opportunity to work with people whom you might not otherwise get to know on a personal level. I have been inspired by the total dedication of these individuals, their mesiras nefesh for our shul, and their seemingly limitless amounts of energy that they expend for our shul. I want to publicly thank David Schreiber, the chairman of the building committee, for all that he has done so far, and for all that I know he will continue to do. Thanks also to our building committee chairpersons, Lori Garber, Bruce Lilker, Alan Aronowitz, and Norman Dax. I am proud to announce that we have $900,000 in dedication pledges that is over and above the building assessments. We presently have over $600,000 in the bank in our specially marked building fund, which represents prepayments of the assessments and dedication funds. I am also very grateful to Avi Schreier and Jerry Stuhlberger for their incredible job with the Truma Building Campaign newsletters. And let's not forget our committee members also, 80 individuals who have volunteered to work in our building committees. Yasher koach to all of you. It is now my distinct privilege to present to you Mr. Norman Dax, the chairperson of our legal committee, who will be making a special presentation to a very special individual. Norman.
Chairman, President, Rabbis, I must say that I am extremely proud to be able to say that I speak to you from a vantage point shared by very few here tonight. Perhaps none of the men here tonight except for my good friends Julie Rosenzweig and Rudy Rosen. And in the 32 years that I have been a member of Young Israel of Woodmere, I have been in a position to observe the work of the Young Israel of Woodmere and those members who have devoted themselves to the job of building the Young Israel and the community as a whole. And I can put these people into two categories in the words of the last week's Sedra, those who have devoted themselves with nediv lev, with a willing heart, and those who have devoted themselves as chacham lev, with wisdom and devotion and dedication. And the one who, in my opinion, who has excelled in both of these categories is someone that is not even a member of our community, someone who's not a member of our shul, but someone who has devoted himself lishma, unequivocally and without reservation, with a totally willing heart and with unique and exceptional competence, and most important, with remarkable zeal and dedication. I speak of my good friend and colleague, Bill Cohen, our zoning attorney, in whose competent hands rests the future of our shul, and upon whom we justifiably rely to persuade the Board of Zoning Appeals that our needs should and must be accommodated. Our history with Bill Cohen goes back many years, and it reminds me of an anecdote that I once heard, which I never really liked, but which I think is fitting and appropriate for the occasion. It's one of those rabbi, priest, minister jokes, and it deals with a minister who went to seek out a doctor who treated him very well, took care of his needs, and when it came to payment, the priest said, "How much do I owe you?" And he said, "No, nothing, I don't charge members of the floor." And he was so grateful that he went out and bought him. He was so grateful that he went out and bought the doctor a gift. And then the minister came, saw treatment, and the same thing happened. The doctor refused to charge him, wouldn't charge members of the clergy, and the minister went out and bought the doctor a gift. And then the rabbi, the chassid, came, and he also received treatment from the doctor. And the doctor refused to charge him also. And the rabbi also did something. He sent him another chassid. And that's the way our relationship with Bill Cohen has been. Many years ago, he assisted us in obtaining the variance which we needed to obtain to build the first shul. And what did we do for him? We sent him another variance matter to handle without fee, as he did the first time. And so Bill devoted himself to the work of the mikveh, and he successfully completed that job. And now again, without payment, but with complete dedication, we have given him a third job to do, and that is the work of our mikveh today. But I think it's time now that we do present Bill Cohen with a token of our appreciation, with a gift from the Young Israel of Woodmere for the work that he has done. And I'd like to call Bill up to receive the good wishes of all of you, of all of the members that are here tonight, not only those that you have worked with so diligently on the committee, and the meetings you have attended without question and without hesitation. I'd like to present this gift to you from the Young Israel of Woodmere with our sincere best wishes for your good health and continued success in all of your endeavors. I'd like to read the inscription. The Young Israel of Woodmere gratefully acknowledges and thanks William Cohen for the countless hours of service over many years that he has devoted on behalf of our synagogue. For all who are involved faithfully in the needs of the community, may the Holy One, blessed be He, pay their reward and send blessing and success to all their handiwork. Young Israel of Woodmere, March 1st, 1992.
Thank you very, very much for this honor. Certainly a pleasure to participate in this wonderful occasion honoring Claire and Joel. And I look forward to the continued success of going forward with the enlargement of the shul and the enlargement of our wonderful Jewish community. Thanks a lot.
I would now like to call Sandy Ostreicher, half of the Presidium of the Sisterhood.
On behalf of my co-president, Sheila Cohn, the women of the Sisterhood, and myself, I would like to extend a hearty mazel tov to our guests of honor, Claire and Joel Blazer. The Blazers have truly earned the recognition and commendation bestowed upon them this evening for their respective and combined community leadership and service to our Young Israel. They are two dedicated individuals who have devoted time, energy, and love toward the growth and development of our shul. As our honorees have contributed to the flourishing of our Young Israel through their multifaceted activities, so too does the Sisterhood aim to leave its mark. We have and will continue to organize functions that will draw our members closer together. One of the Sisterhood's main goals is to raise funds that will afford us the opportunity to build and upgrade our facilities so that we can help accommodate the spiritual, social, cultural, and educational needs of our congregational family. This year's Truma campaign has presented us with a direct target for our efforts. It says in Mishlei, Rodev tzedakah v'chesed, yimtza chayim tzedakah v'kavod. May Hashem grant Claire and Joel and their children Penina, Avi, and Gila long life, good health, and the strength to continue to work for the Young Israel of Woodmere and all worthy Jewish causes. Mazel tov and Yasher Koach. Sheila Cohn would now like to present on behalf of the Sisterhood a gift that we have prepared. prepared for Joel and Claire.
On behalf of the Sisterhood of the Young Israel of Woodmere, we'd like to present you with this original etched glass mezuzah. Just as the two of you have dedicated yourselves to our Beit HaKnesset, our house of worship, it is our sincere hope that this mezuzah will bring you continued bracha, your house, your home, and your
This is the ladies' turn. In the current few parshiot, God is telling Moshe how to build the Mishkan. He gives him precise instruction on what colors to put and what size and kinds of materials to use. The purpose of the Mishkan is to have a place where the people could go to bring their karbanot. This was a place where they could go to show their gratitude to him. It is a place which is the center of religious activity and camaraderie. Our Young Israel is a place where we go to thank God for his goodness. We are grateful to have the Young Israel of Woodmere as our Mishkan. We are thankful to be able to be a part of the community that gives chesed to the needy, joins forces in crisis, and celebrates together when the occasion allows. Tonight, our family celebrates, and we are grateful that we have come to this moment. Baruch Shachiyanu v'kimanu v'higiyanu masmuraseh.
Would I like to call upon Nina, Avi, and Gila.
Before we start, I'd like to thank everyone for saying all the good things that we thought of saying as well. And a special mazel tov from Roger Bear.
Good evening, dear friends and relations. We stand here with pride and elation. You've chosen the best as your honored guests, and we've got a brief explanation.
When at night a lake minion is forming, and they're short because just 9 men came swarming, they called up Joel Blazer, and quick as a laser, he's there whether rain, snow, or storming.
Quite often on Sundays for baking, our kitchen was there for the taking. No matter the hour, we'd always spare flour or eggs that they needed for breaking.
When Shabbos day rain starts to fall, after shul many crash our front hall. Hats and jackets we loan, so they're dry walking home. If you've got my blue one, please call.
If ever someone during prayer suddenly feels they need bear, they always know where the place to go. We've always got some to spare.
So you see, aside from all the reasons you've read and heard about, there are many little known reasons why our parents are deserving of this honor. Mom, Dad, mazel tov on this great occasion. We hope you continue to give us a wonderful example to follow.
We'd like to thank you all for coming here tonight for a couple of personal reasons as well. First and foremost, not only are our parents celebrating their 25th year in Woodmere, but this month, on Purim, they'll also be celebrating their silver wedding anniversary. This is really a special way to commemorate that milestone. So thanks for being here to share this happy occasion with them. And now, Bobby, please listen up for this one.
The second personal reason why I'd like to thank you all for bestowing this wonderful honor on my most deserving parents at this beautiful dinner is because it's as lovely as many weddings I've been to, and I'm hoping this will tide over the grandmas for a while.
I would now like to call upon Rabbi Mintz to say a few words.
I'd like to personally take this opportunity to thank Arnie and Irv and Manny for their work on behalf of the dinner, making the dinner such a success. Tonight, we're here to honor and to celebrate with Joel and Claire for their 25 years of commitment and dedication to the young Israel of Woodmere. But we're also here to celebrate the completion of another year of growth and accomplishment of all of us here at the Young Israel. And this coming Shabbos, we also celebrate a completion. The completion of the book of Shmos. And what do we say when we finish a book of the Chumash? We say, Chazak, Chazak, v'nis chazek. That we should have the strength to continue, to begin other books of the Chumash. And this is based on the charge that Moshe Rabbeinu gives to Yehoshua before Moshe Rabbeinu dies, when he says to Yehoshua, Chazak ve'ematz, that Yehoshua should be valiant and strong as he continues the mission of the Jewish people, bringing them into the land of Israel. Question is, isn't that strange? When you complete something, we would think that you celebrate the completion. Why look forward to the difficult tasks that lie ahead? The answer is that in Judaism, finishing something isn't an end, it's just the beginning. When we say Chazak, Chazak, v'nis chazek, it's our wish and our hope to begin other books of the Chumash. And when Moshe tells Yoshua, Chazak ve'ematz, he's charging him to continue in the mission of leading the Jewish people. To Joel and to Claire, whose commitment we all know goes beyond the young Israel of Woodmere, and I first got to know them through yeshiva and through the Hafter High School. We wish you chazak ve'ematz, that you should have the strength and the vigor to continue together with your children, Penina, Avi, and Gila, in your work on behalf of both the young Israel and the entire Jewish community. And to all of us who are enjoying this year's dinner during the week of Chazak, we can hope that we will have the strength to continue to spend another year of growth and accomplishment together as the Young Israel of Woodmere family.
I would now like to call upon Rabbi Shaya Libor to say a few words.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Rabbi Billet, Rabbi Mintz, Claire, Joel, your family, your mothers, and members of the dais, and my very good friends. Just a prefatory remark. I believe that the fact that there are 4 rabbis of the Young Israel would be present here, rabbis who have served the shul since its inception until today, that they are all here, Rabbi Kamenetsky, Rabbi Billet, Rabbi Mintz, Vani Katan. I think that says a lot for our shul, and all of you can be very proud of this. Of course, I don't have the words to tell you how wonderful I feel in being here tonight, surrounded by friends, being able to participate in this glorious tribute to Claire and Joel. It really, I'm overwhelmed, I must tell you. Arnie Baldwin and Irving Cherson, Manny Libin, your chairman, when they wrote to you the original letter regarding the dinner, they said that Claire and Joel are being honored because of their untiring efforts and untiring service for the community. I'm picking up on that one word, untiring, and I'm underlining it. We're all talking tonight about the Mishkan and the Aron, etc. The Aron, as you know, was carried through the wilderness by means of 2 poles on either side, placed in 4 rings. The Torah tells us that these rolls, lo yosuru mimenu, they should not be removed. The Alshich points out that just as we know very well that the ark is a symbol for the Torah, so the poles, he says, they are the symbol of support and service to the Torah. And he continues, he says, just as these poles were never allowed to be removed or separated from the ark, so also service, support for the Torah has to be constant and consistent, and no one should say, I have done my job, I have served, now let someone take over. And therefore, these words, untiring service, fit so well for Joel and Claire. Words well chosen. Yes. My wife, Sarah, who unfortunately could not be here with us tonight, sends her best wishes. And when she was talking to me about the dinner, she reminded me that many years ago, in 74, 75, when we were on sabbatical in Israel, Claire and Joel gave us a lot of trouble. Let me explain. They sent so many packages of old clothes that were collected by the children, I believe, that the customs authorities called Sarah down and they insisted that she must be in business and therefore she has to pay tax on all these old clothes. Well, it took a lot of her persuasive powers to tell them otherwise. Just one little example of the untiring service of Claire and Joel. Claire and Joel, we salute you, we applaud you, and we invoke upon you God's blessings for continued and midah connected midah, consistent and constant good health, great happiness, boundless nachas from your beautiful children, and let us all say, Amen.
I'd now like to call up Rabbi Billet, who came a short distance to be here with us tonight.
I think this is my first and last speech of 57, what is it, 52 to the Young Israel membership. I first want to join the dinner chairman and the president and officers of the shul and the entire membership in thanking Bill Cohn for all of the hard work that he has put into helping our shul over the years. And I also know it firsthand from many meetings with Mr. Cohn. And looking at the Truma Building Campaign dedications, you know, when you go away for a significant amount of time, sometimes you tend to be a little bit sensitive and a little bit nervous about what you're going to find when you come back. And as I look down the dedications, I find, number one, the rabbi's study isn't dedicated. The rabbi's chair and lectern in the 9 o'clock minyan isn't dedicated. And there's no room for a rabbi's chair or lectern at all in the 7 o'clock minyan. I can still take a hint. I also want to tell you, Norman, that I've never met a doctor to whom I referred another chassid to, or ever wanted to. One of the charges of the Torah to the Jewish people is Zechor Yemot Olam Binu Shnot Dor V'Dor Sha'al Avicha V'Yagetcha Zkenecha V'Yomru Lach. That we have to remember the history of days, and we have to try to understand them, and we have to pass these lessons on to our children. If I may allow myself just one or two brief little anecdotes of things that happened in the last week or so in Israel, which is demonstrative of this point. You know, when you live close to Jewish destiny, and I think there's no place on the earth that a Jew can live closer to our future history and our destiny than in the land of Israel, you really come to realize that public memory, or even individual memory, is very short. A week ago Friday, we were taking a walking tour in the new city of Jerusalem, of the modern period, and our guide was an Israeli young man, was describing to us the tremendous role the British played in building Yerushalayim and in building Israel when they took over during the Mandate period following World War I. And the guide said that he is absolutely, unabashedly pro-British. He just loves the British for all that they did for the Jewish people. And I looked at the list of tours that he was going to be leading, and several of the tours were about the 1948 war, and I asked him whether in the course of the tours he was going to take us to the Russian compound. And you know, the Russian compound, you have the prison in which the British held young Jewish men, and some died there, and many others were hanged in Akko. But the guide, being an ardent leftist and lover of the British, said, of course, that's not on the chart, and we weren't going there. And I found it particularly interesting because the week following was February 24th, 1942. And February 24th, 1942, which is last week, is the 50th anniversary of the sinking of the Struma, which was a ship with more than 960 Jewish men, women, and children, which was sunk outside of Turkey by various different people. We don't really know until this day who did it, whether it was done by the Turks, whether it was done by the Nazis, or whether it was done by the British. I found that there was one survivor of that event. I found it particularly interesting that it was on that very same day that Mr. Baker, our Secretary of State, appeared before the Congress of the United States and declared absolutely in no uncertain terms the United States' position on resisting giving loan guarantees to Israel unless Israel followed the prescription of the United States. And I was thinking how short people's memory really is. We're talking about 50 years ago to the day when Jews were trying to flee from oppression in Europe. The British denied them entry to the land of Israel, and on that very same day, the administration of the United States of America takes a position which makes it very difficult for the Israeli government to continue with the klita of Russian immigrants who are fleeing from a different form of oppression. But tonight, we at least pay heed to the dictum of Zechor Yemot Olam, and we do remember. We remember two people who are very special to our shul, who've put in a lot of hard work, with love, with care, and with a smile always. Joel, as Rabbi Mintz mentioned, is also someone who I remember from yeshiva. And of course, when you're first told, for the first time in your life, to fill out a form in triplicate, you usually figure at the other end of that form is some apparatchik who's going to be working there and will never crack a smile at you, and if you forget to cross the T or dot the I, you'll never get the chairs you asked for the student activity that the chairs were being requisitioned. But that's not the way it was for Joel. Any student who ever walked into the office, at least what I remember, in First Hall, I know Joel is now across the street in the big tall building in Belfer, but any student who walked into Joel's office in First Hall always was greeted warmly. and always felt welcome, and always found someone who was concerned with the request of the student. And how could I help you some more? And how could I make the program good? And are you sure you want it this way? And how do you want the chair set up? That's the way it always was with Joel. And that's why Joel Blazer was always beloved by the students at Yeshiva University. And the students at Yeshiva University are not such an easy bunch to please, I can assure you. And Joel's devoted work in shul, always as a volunteer. Of course, you know, this building campaign would have taken place a long time ago if it wasn't for Joel, and would have been finished by now. And we well know about 8 or 9 years ago, Rudy had conspired with somebody to burn the shul building on Erev Shmini Atzeres. And the fire had started, and it was in the wee hours of the morning, and no one would have known about it, except for the fact that Joel Blazer smelled the smoke and called the fire department. And we could have been finished with the Truma campaign. The building could have been done much cheaper, but sometimes that's the way it is when you live across the street and you can't keep your nose out of... You know, and Rudy could have gotten a lot more credit than he gets. Joel has always been a faithful courier, and I can't tell you the different kinds of things that he's been asked to take up to yeshiva, things which bear on when certain halachic shilas had to be asked of Gedolim V'Tovim from the rabbi. Joel was always a faithful courier, and a lot of other less significant and important things. He was always a good limousine driver. Any student who missed the bus, or if the bus didn't show up, there was always room in Joel Blazer's car. And you were guaranteed to get there. I don't know if on time, but you were always guaranteed to get there. Claire is always a ray of sunshine. I think anyone who knows her, anyone who's ever walked into not only her house, but into Hafter, always finds a warm smile. It could be the most dismal day, but if Claire is there, you know the sun is shining. And Claire also, by the way, demonstrates a unique gift of memory. You know, Claire works in Hafter High School, and I checked with her. She remembers the name of every single one of the principals that she's worked for in the last 12 years. And that's no small task. She remembers a lot of other things also. She always remembers to be kind, to be considerate, to be caring, and to be concerned for every single person where she could be of some help. And Claire and Joel always open their house on Simchas Torah, in addition to all the other times, for a very special kiddush to which the rabbi is never invited to, but is always told that he's welcome to crash. And they never give any intoxicating beverages to the rabbi. But to everyone, Joel got married on Purim, I didn't know that, but now I understand the schnapps. So I want to salute Claire and Joel, and salute their children, Penina, Avi, and Gila. Salute their mothers who are here, Mrs. Etty Blazer and Mrs. Sarah Edelstein, and to wish you that you should always have much nachas and joy from Joel and Claire and to Ahem and their children, your grandchildren. And Claire and Joel, I want to ask you to please come up to receive the gift that the shul is giving you. You didn't tell me that. Oh, I just heard that the study was dedicated. Okay, so there will be intelligent rabbis, at least in the Young Israel of Woodmere. There will be a place for the rabbi to study. And it was dedicated by Mayor and Sivi Greenberg, and we thank you very much for that. Now we just need 2 lecterns, 7 o'clock minyan and 9 o'clock minyan. And the lectern in the 7 o'clock minyan costs the same as the lectern in the 9 o'clock minyan. Okay, this dedication reads, V'chol mi she'oskim b'tzarchei tzibur be'emuna HaKadosh Baruch Hu Yishalem Sechara. It's a good thing I know that pasuk by heart because I really can't read it here. Presented to Joel and Claire Blazer in recognition of their 25 years of faithful involvement in the Young Israel of Woodmere. The 27th of Adar Aleph of the year 5752. And Joel and Claire, that is not a toast shel Eliyahu, that's for drinking on Purim.
Rabbi Libor, Rabbi Billet, Rabbi Mintz, guest rabbis, officers, relatives, and friends. When Claire and I moved to Woodmere 25 years ago, there were under 50 member families at the Young Israel. Recently, I counted the names on the shul's computer-generated membership list dated November 29, 1991. As of that date, there were, Baruch Hashem, 476 member families Kain Yirbu. As of tonight, who knows how many more. 25 years ago, Claire was the youngest member in the shul. It became obvious to me how times have changed when recently a young man on our dinner committee addressed her as Mrs. Blazer. In retrospect, I guess we were trailblazers in a young and upcoming Jewish community. I think that it is very appropriate that this dinner is sandwiched between the Sedras of Vayakhel and Pekudei, both of which speak about the construction of the Mishkan. In addition, the Torah devotes two other Sedras, Truma and Titzaveh, plus parts of Kisisa, to the same topic. Since there is no unnecessary word or even letter in the Torah, doesn't it seem strange for the Torah to devote almost half of the Sefer Shemos in telling and retelling the details of the building of the Mishkan? I believe that it is to stress the paramount importance to the Jewish people and its destiny that was served first by the tabernacle, later by the Beis HaMikdash, and in our own time by the Mikdash Ma'at, the synagogue, which lies at the very center of the Jewish community. It conveys the significance of giving, of helping, of volunteering one's time, resources, and talents in order to benefit the entire tzibur. This is a very special year for all of us as we embark on our own Truma campaign to enlarge our Mikdash Ma'at in order to properly service our ever-growing Olam. Here in Woodmere, all of us have the unique privilege of being part of the building and growth of a wonderful community. Claire and I, together with our family, are grateful to Hashem for giving us the schus to be part of this very special congregation. I thank HaKadosh Baruch Hu, who has sustained us and allowed us to reach this day together with our family and friends. Although both Claire and I are being honored, I must admit, and I'm very proud to do so, that Claire is the one who really deserves the greatest praise and accolades, not only for her dedicated work on behalf of our community, but for the love, warmth, and concern that she has taught me and our children. Of course, Hashem has blessed us with three of the most wonderful children in the world, Penina, Avi, and Gila. We pray that we set the proper example for them and that they will always cherish the necessity of being an active member of the Kehillah in which they live. I'd like to make special note of the presence of our dear mothers, Mrs. Etty Blazer and Mrs. Sarah Edelstein, whose inspiration has always served as a wonderful role model for their children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren to emulate. Thanks to our dinner chairman, Arnie Waldman, Irving Cherson, and Manny Libin, members of the dinner committee, and of course, we thank all of you for bestowing this honor upon us. May all of us be blessed with the ability to realize all of our hopes and dreams for ourselves, our families, our community, and all Klal Yisrael. Yehi ratzon shetishre shechina b'maaseh yedeichem.
Thank you, everybody. Have a good time.
Helen.
Okay?
Salam alaikum Introducing Hazen and Joel Blazer. You ready?
Once again, we'd like to thank all our friends at Young Israel for bestowing this honor on us, and we hope that we can continue to work for the shul and for the community and do all that has been told that they expect from us tonight.
This has been a great evening. It's like a big dream. Everything has been beautiful, and we hope to do the best we can for the rest of the time for the shul that we can.